This is More Knowledge, More Wealth with your host, Gabriel Shahin. Gabriel is a certified financial planner and a registered investment advisor at Falcon Wealth Planning. This show does not intend to provide personalized investment advice through this broadcast and does not represent that the services or securities discussed are suitable for any investor. Investors are advised not to rely on any information contained in the broadcast in the process of making a full informed investment decision. Now here's your host, Gabriel Shahin.
Good day. This is Gabriel Shahin, certified financial planner and your host of More Knowledge, More Wealth here on every weekend, talking about all important topics of personal finance. My job is to go over the knowledge you need to increase your wealth. Now, to the listener, you can always reach out to myself or any one of our colleagues here at Falcon Wealth Planning. Our phone number is 855-963-2526. That's 855-96-FALCON, like the bird. Or visit our website at falconwealthplanning.com. That's falconwp.com for short, where you can go on our Knowledge Center, which gives you a direct link to YouTube, where we've had well over 1 million views, multiple videos that help answer the questions that you have. And if you want to put an inquiry so we can talk about it on the show or create a Knowledge Center video, please send your inquiry to radio@falconwp.com. That's radio@falconwp.com. And also you can go get this episode, any one of our previous episodes on Spotify, podcasts, you name it, folks. Now, I'm the president of Falcon Wealth Planning. We are a fee-only, non-commission, true fiduciary, folks. And we talk about all important topics of personal finance. That's where you are today, how retirement looks like, investments, estate planning, insurance, folks, you name it. Anything that involves a dollar sign, we can help you with. And we are offering 1 to 2 meetings, 1 to 2 hours of our time, folks, at no cost to help relate this show to your specific situation. And we have offices all across the country that we can help you with. Folks, give us a buzz. Our phone number is 855-963-2526. That's 855-96-FALCON, like the bird, where we can help answer those questions that you have to help with your financial situation.
Well, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope you enjoy this time with your family and you discuss anything but politics, of course, especially after these elections. And we want to make sure we just enjoy our time together. I'm telling you, it's Turkey Day. We got football games that are going on, as we already enjoyed. Chicago Bears against the Lions. We had the Giants and the Cowboys, and we got Miami Dolphins and the Packers. And hey, we even had a special Black Friday with the Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, who doesn't like Thanksgiving, right? This is the time we always discuss of just being thankful. In general, we just wanted to be happy with everything that we have going on, because you have forget the 100 million people that are watching the football games or the over $5 billion of shopping that happens on Black Friday. But there is so many other fun facts about Thanksgiving. Did you know the average person spends $325 over that 5-day Thanksgiving period? Did you know it takes 10 hours on a treadmill on average to lose the 4,500 calories that you gain in that Thanksgiving meal? There's over $1 billion spent on turkey. That's 40 million turkeys that are killed during the holiday. Sorry to my vegetarians out there. And then you have $26 million of the amount of property lost because of the fires that are caused, residential fires each Thanksgiving. 77% share the people celebrating Thanksgiving who are trying to avoid talking about politics at the dinner table, right? Nobody wants to talk about that. That's why I started off with. But this all started back in 1621. 1863, President Abraham Lincoln proclaimed Thanksgiving as a national holiday. 1989, George H. Bush pardoned the first turkey. And you have 2 turkeys every year that goes to the White House, which, by the way, you have 4 towns here in America that are named Turkey. You have Turkey Creek, Arizona, Turkey, Texas, Turkey Creek, Los Angeles, LA, Louisiana, and Turkey, North Carolina. How funny, 2 turkeys and 2 Turkey Creeks. You also have just a total amount of people that are together in general, over 200 million people that are enjoying Thanksgiving. This is a time for all of us to give thanks. No matter what has happened in the world, we have to give thanks of where we are today, good or bad, whether there's sorrow, happiness, whether it's a loved one that's no longer at the table or new births and new people entering this world. We have to give thanks, because I tell you, there's always somewhere, someplace in the world that doesn't have what you have. There's always somebody out there that's suffering. And you have to take a look. If you can afford, you got a roof over your head, and you are here with your family throughout the holidays and got to enjoy, got in some arguments, drank a little too much, whatever the case is, you are blessed. You are blessed to be in a situation and in a country where you have the freedom to communicate, to host parties, to go where you want, to say what you want. And this is much different from other places around the world. Heck, you have other countries now that are putting people in jail for what they're saying on social media. Yes, we have the freedom of speech, but people also hold you accountable to what you say. When you offend somebody, well, you can't just surely expect it to be ignored. Or sometimes you're talking to people that have the utmost confidence in the world. They're going to come up to you and say, I don't like it. Or with the power of social media, they can blow it up and kind of bring you down. Some people have lost jobs because of this. Or just not having business conducted with them because they have gone on the offense. Which, what do I mean by that? Well, you had the term Karens that happened because of that crazy lady at the park. I feel sorry for any Karens out there right now, but do you get what I'm saying? There are the actual name Karens, not the Karens, if you know what I mean. But this is a time of thanks. And when you take a look at what has happened this year in the stock market, what has happened in the past 3 years, what has happened in the past 5, 10 plus years, you have to take a look at yourself and say, have you earned the right where you can say you're financially independent? That doesn't mean you have no debt. All that means is if you wanted to pay off your home, you could. Or that you have leveraged everything in a perfect situation where you have a 2.5% mortgage and you're enjoying that low payment, where you were able to secure that home when you did. Because you've seen what the homes next to you have recently sold for with, oh, by the way, with the interest rates where they're at. It is substantially more expensive to own. Give thanks for that. Give thanks for the car that you drive, for the health that you have. Let's just say you're not in the best health. Well, you're still here listening to the show. Whether you have loved ones next to you, whether in good situation or bad situation. You want to make sure that you appreciate everything that you have, or at least when you had it. And so you want to make sure you talk to your loved ones and say, I love you. I'm proud of you. I respect you. And thank you. Personal finance is more about just money. It's more personal than finance. That's the secret with all of this. Everything comes from a deep root of what have we done recently. Are we helping people? Are we giving thanks to people who have helped you? And what can you do to return the favor? Because that's one of the biggest things that I see, is we take everything we have for granted. By the way, folks, if you're just joining me, you're listening to Gabriel Shahin, certified financial planner, and your host of More Knowledge, More Wealth here on every weekend. And we're talking about all important topics of personal finance. And today, I just wanted to talk about the Thanksgiving holiday. We got the football season. We got a bunch of people watching. We have turkey bowls. We have a bunch of other things. But the idea of everything, and it's a great time of the year, right? You got the NBA going on, just finished up baseball, hockey's happening. Of course, you can tell I love sports because that's what I'm referencing. You got the changing of the weathers, maybe some places getting a little colder, but always give thanks for what you have. Because what I'm going to do later on in the next segment is I'm going to talk about the foundation of Falcon Wealth Planning, because I think about that from time to time, and most people are like this. Most driven people do not stop and smell the flowers. People tell me all the time to do that. For me, my solace is my family. It really is. I work hard for my family. I live life for my family. But there's times I miss a lot of family events. So there's irony in that, isn't there? So we have to take a look for ourselves. During this holiday, I remember just sitting down, enjoying with my brothers, having a drink, taking a look and seeing all the crazy kids. I got 3 kids under 10 years old. My other brother has 2 kids. My other brother, soon to have 2 kids. He has 1 and his wife is carrying. My sister has 3 kids. We're talking about a lot of kids here running around. And so it was just a proud moment when you see my mother, 9 grandkids, and you see all of us with her 4 kids. It's a heavy household, and we are not a quiet family. So taking a step back and just looking, I had that moment of, you know what, this is why we work hard. I was able to fly to Arizona, spend time with my family, and enjoy the beauty of life, the beauty of Thanksgiving, the beauty of just being with those that love you. And with our case, my goal is family. Now, other people, not a problem, right? Their enjoyment is traveling. Other people, maybe it is, in fact, making money. Some people, it's just watching a movie, reading a book, whatever the case may be. Now, for me, I don't have time to do all that. I would absolutely love to. I love gardening, but I don't have time for gardening. I get it. So for me, because I have kids that demand so much attention, I give them a lot of my time. But I enjoy it, right? So that's what I was giving thanks for. I just had a moment where I just looked at all the kids, looked at my kids, saw how happy they were, and it just made me feel a sense of accomplishment. And I don't get that a lot. And I'm blessed. I have lots to be proud of. My father was alive. He would be very proud of the things that we've accomplished. All of us. But I want to make sure you're taking that moment of self-reflection during this holiday. As we enter throughout the winter season, take a look at your situation and what you have. Don't always focus on how you can make it better. It is important to do that. And a lot of this show and what I communicate is exactly that. I try to help you to make your life better. But sometimes you're fine. You're going to be fine. Like, think about that. Yeah, I tell you maybe you should save money here or do the strategies save you there. Or you can move in a situation that can make you more. But if you don't do that, you're going to be fine. I'm just trying to make a recommendation where you can be better. So sometimes, because of the respect of money, I say you should take this into account. So don't take a look at the things that you're not doing. Take a look at the stuff you've already done. If you have money in the bank account, if you have your money in your retirement, money in a brokerage account, you're doing better than a lot of people. Because if you remember in a recent study, there was over 60% of people couldn't even come up with $400 in an emergency. That is sad. So we are blessed, regardless of the politics, regardless of the wars, regardless of the things that are going on in our local cities that we're unhappy about. We have to focus on ourselves, what we've accomplished, and where we're going. So what I want to do is, when we come back, I'm going to talk about a little bit about the future of Falcon Wealth Planning and how we have come to where we are today, and more importantly, why we started the company. I'll be right back after a few words.
This is Gabriel Shahin, Certified Financial Planner and President of Falcon Wealth Planning. We wanted to offer you a free financial assessment for listening to the show so you can help relate it to your specific situation. We offer multiple services such as retirement planning, where you are today, how retirement looks like, talking about Social Security, real estate, planning, even if you own a business, talking about taxes, not just how to save money today, but also throughout retirement. Talk about investments, making sure you're avoiding those high fees, costs, commissions, and also estate planning and insurance, just making sure you're properly protected if, God forbid, something were to happen. And we're offering 1 to 2 meetings, 1 to 2 hours of our time at no cost. Give us a call. We would love to help. Our phone number is 855-963-2526. That's 855-96-FALCON, like the bird. Or visit our website at falconwealthplanning.com. That's falconwp.com for short, and fill out the form fill right there on our site. We would love to help you in your financial situation. We look forward to serving you.
Welcome back, folks. This is Gabriel Shahin, Certified Financial Planner, and your host of More Knowledge, More Wealth, here on every weekend, talking about all important topics of personal finance. And we are during the Thanksgiving holiday, and I thought this could be a fantastic time just to tell you about giving thanks and just all that we have to be fortunate for. And for me, I always talk about my family. I'm a family guy. What can I say? That's who I am. It's in my DNA. Now, let's talk a little bit about the business side, because I am extremely thankful for the things that happened in my past to bring me where I am today. And where I am today is a situation where we have built a fantastic firm that the industry has recognized, that clients, the people we work with, have recognized us. to be one of the most elite firms in the country. And I am so humbled and fortunate of all the recognition that we get. But this story did not start off so easy. So I wanted to take a moment during this Thanksgiving holiday to talk about where it started. And for me, it started while I was finishing up in high school in 2003, working for Wells Fargo Bank. Started there April 18th, 2003. Worked in the back office in their processing where the vault was in Tempe, Arizona. And I worked there till 2006, late 2006, so almost 4 years. I did personal banking, really started to learn finance there. Then I went to U.S. Bank as a branch manager, the youngest branch manager at their traditional offices, not the in-store location, but their traditional offices. Got hired there by a guy named Carl Jordan. Got to teach me about the properness, the professionalism, the controlling your emotions and your energy. Learned so much from him, one of the best mentors I ever had at U.S. Bank. He's still there, actually. And I worked there until I realized going into the financial specialist role when I started to go, U.S. Bank has U.S. Bancorp, and I realized that was in the commission-based world. That's kind of how you get in. And I realized, you know what, I wanted to be a little bit more independent. And there's a lot of red tape and restrictions there. And it was during 2008, during the meltdown. They weren't hiring. So I went to Edward Jones. Edward Jones really taught me a lot of the psychology of people. They cared about people. The negative thing with them is they were commission-based. They're really an American funds shop, and they really focused a lot on selling A-share mutual funds. And so I didn't like the fact that they did not have a massive offering. They were very conservative, which is fine, but some people need more than just a commission-based mutual fund. So from there, I went to TD Ameritrade. Started there in 2010. Now, I lived in Arizona pretty much my whole life. Now, I moved back to California in Rancho Cucamonga, California in 2010. And I worked at TD Ameritrade until 2014. And TD Ameritrade, it was one of the best jobs I've ever had. Mostly because I was just on the phones all day and meeting with clients all day. I mean, I was talking to 30 to 40 to 50 people a day. And sometimes 10 plus people in-person meetings a day. I mean, I used to joke and say somebody with 20 years more of experience, in 1 year, I do more than they do in 10 years with the amount of people that I talk to and help on a daily basis. So it was one of the best jobs I ever had. And the beauty of that job, I was able to work with registered investment advisory firms, like what Falcon Wealth Planning is today. Some of them were fee only. I got to see what made them great firms. What was so fantastic about them? What was the benefits of those firms and the value proposition? What made one firm different to another firm? What offerings were they doing? Were they just managing money, or were they offering financial planning or other auxiliary services? Some of the firms that I met there were under $1 billion of assets that now have grown to hundreds of billions of dollars of assets. How did they do it? Essentially, what was their secret sauce? And I got to see each and every one of those meetings. I got to see 30 to 40 of some of the top firms in the country. Some of them are still around to today. Then what happened is, because every quarter at that company, you kind of had to start over. There was no relationship there. It was all transactional. They wanted to see how much assets you could bring in and how many clients you can put into some of their programs or refer out to advisors. And listen, I did very well there. I was top 1% of the company, at times number one in the country. But it just didn't feel right? I kept reaching out to these people, right? They weren't just clients. These were human beings. Some of them I grew friends with. Some of them, when I left that firm, they're working with Falcon Wealth Planning to today. That's how much of an impact I had with these people. So I left TD Ameritrade in 2015 because I was looking for more. And I worked at a registered investment advisory firm, which actually was a good firm. Now, the problem with that firm was the people running it weren't the best. I didn't really appreciate the attitudes. I didn't appreciate the culture over there. I valued clients. They didn't. I valued the people. Not really. The leadership over there didn't. So I did not have a good experience. I was ready to give my career away. Keep in mind, I was going for my MBA at the time. I started it in 2006 when I graduated from college. And I never finished it because U.S. Bank said you have to work there a year before any reimbursements were done. And for whatever reason, I didn't do it, right? You get busy. That's why it's important to not take a break, right? Well, I went back to school and got my MBA. And my whole idea, because my wife, who's a professor at a local university, I was like, I'm going to teach there. And that way, I'm thinking to myself, I'm a financial planner. Once you have your subset of clients, then your job is kind of, if you don't want to grow, you want to have good work-life balance. I could probably work 20, 30 hours a week, meet with my 150 clients a year, and then everything will be great. And then I can teach also part-time. And I was like, hey, I get a pension system over there and so on. Until I realized that firm I was at was just not a good firm. Now, my wife at the time, when I left that firm, it was March of 2015. When I left that firm, it was extremely important time of our life because we were expecting our first child. So I started the firm March 5th of 2015. My child was born in July 18th of 2015. So boy, oh boy, there's no proper time to start a business. But I had the proper motivation that I needed. By the way, folks, if you're just joining me, you're listening to Gabriel Shahin, Certified Financial Planner, and your host of More Knowledge, More Wealth here on every weekend. And I'm giving you background of Falcon Wealth Planning when it started. And so this is where I had one of the defining moments of my life. And that was a conversation I had with my in-laws. Because also remember, my father passed away in 2008 as I was transitioning to go into the investment world. That was one of the defining moments of when I said, I have to go. And when he died in 2008, it wasn't until 3 years later after he died, my youngest brother at the time was 16 years old, or soon to be 16. And when he passed away, it wasn't until our neighbor across the street where his wife passed away from cancer. And between the morning process, when he would speak, his name was Randy, spoke to my mom, where some conversation about a survivor benefit came up. My mom looked at me and said, don't you know anything about this survivor benefit? And I said, well, no, I don't. She's like, well, we could have gotten some money every single month until your youngest brother was 18 years old. And that was extremely important because we could have used that money, assuming it was $1,000 a month over 30 months, that was $30,000. Our family could have used that $30,000. When my mom looked at me and the look on her face, obviously she loves me more than life, we could argue. But the look that she had was like, how did you not know? Like, wow, you kind of let us down. Like, wow, that's disappointing. You're in the investment industry at that point. And you didn't know this? I knew right then and there. There's more to this industry than just selling commissions and selling product and making money. It's about people. This is where financial planning became essential. And from that moment, when my father passed away, less than 5 years later, I got the Certified Financial Planner designation. I knew I had to get it. Heck, at TD Ameritrade, they wouldn't even let me say I was a Certified Financial Planner at a point in time because there was nobody with oversight over me that was able to see the recommendations that I was giving was accurate. So this brought me to a point of achieving a lot of success at TD Ameritrade, a lot of success over at the previous RA, but I had to leave because culturally it just didn't work well for me. And I had a decision to make. Should I work for another firm or should I start my own? And it was my in-laws who said that you should start your own company. And the reason they said that, they said, listen, you are a high energy, hardworking person. And they said that while you're young, use this energy to build your own enterprise. Don't give your energy to somebody else at this age, especially since you know how to do it. And that was the very clear conversation. And I kept saying, I got school, I got costs. Your daughter, talking to my in-laws, your daughter, she's pregnant, right? This was probably in January, let's say, when this was going on. And it was extremely crucial of a decision and the motivation and push from them that I needed, where they said, you'll be fine, trust us. And they literally said, I have faith in they're very religious in-laws family as we are, but we believe in the success of you starting your own firm the same as we believe in God. Like, how hard to argue with that, right? So I ended up doing it. So Falcon started March 5th of 2015. And it was about putting people first, not being commission-based, putting our clients first. It's funny, when you put clients above profits, so much amazing stuff can happen. People always ask, why did you start the firm? I started the firm because I wanted to have a relationship where we care about the people. People always ask how my memory is so good, how our advisor's memory is so good. It's because we hire people who care. When you care about something, you're never going to forget it. And if we're not talking to the people, working with the people that we like and care about, then it's no value. And how do we do that? We have to create a compensation model that is fee only, salary based, where they can't get paid. There is no high fives when you close a deal. We've now founded a new relationship. That was so important to me to build this firm. And that is the core characteristics to this day. In March of 2025 will be 10 years Falcon Wealth Planning has been in business. And now we manage well over $1 billion, recognized as one of the fastest growing firms in the country, and we are doing it organically. We do not acquire a company. There are other companies out there, I call them Franken firms. Why? Because it's like a bunch of other firms squeezed together to make one big mega firm. Yeah, but they have private equity money. They can't care about the clients, they have to care about the profits now. How is that going to go when that's all they're looking at? It's so important that we stay private and we stay personal and we make the clients first. That is why I started Falcon Wealth Planning. And that is why we will continue behaving in this manner. People over products, and give that care and attention to make sure they get the best version of themselves. That's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for my previous firm being a bunch of jerks. Because if they weren't jerks, I would never have started this company.
That was a fast show, folks. I want to thank you for tuning in with us this weekend. You can always reach out to myself or any one of our colleagues here at Falcon Wealth Planning. Our phone number is 855-963-2526. That's 855-96-FALCON, like the bird. Or visit our website at falconwealthplanning.com. That's falconwp.com for short, where you can go and visit our Knowledge Center, which redirects you to YouTube. We have over 1 million views, folks. And if you want us to discuss anything on YouTube, on the show, whatever, send your inquiry to radio@falconwp.com. That's radio@falconwp.com. And if you want this episode, any one of our previous episodes, you can go on podcast, Spotify. We have them all there. And folks, we want to thank you for your trust. We want you to feel free and feel comfortable to reach out with any questions that you have.